choosing not to have children is still treated like some scandalous confession. Like I accidentally skipped life's main course and I'm systematically setting out to destroy the human race. But here's the truth. I made a choice, a deliberate choice, and I have zero regrets. In fact, I've never felt freer. I didn't forget to have kids. I just canceled my subscription to motherhood and I chose freedom instead. Today, we're gonna talk about what it really means to live life on your own terms, the perks of being the fun aunt, why friendships can survive motherhood, and why living a non-traditional life does not make you selfish. So if you're ready to stop explaining your life choices to everyone else and start owning them, welcome to your favorite episode. Hey everybody, welcome back to Still Can't Cook. I'm your host, Kelley Fahey, and what is the deal with everyone acting like you just cursed humanity when you say you don't want children? People act like it's a federal crime. I decided early on that I needed to make a decision for myself, and it was, am I going to be good at this, or is it going to be too much of a responsibility for me if I want to do all the other things that I want to do? And for me, it was too big a responsibility to be able to have the adult life that I saw in my brain. I was going to travel, I was going to be self-employed, I was going to have freedom, and I was definitely not going to have kids. It was not a fantasy in my head about what it would look like and what they would look like in childhood names. I had friends who had kids' names. I do remember actually at one point, I was in love with this show, Coach, and I loved the name Hayden. His name was Hayden Fox. That was a name like, oh, if I have a son, I'm going to name him Hayden. And then I thought I was going to be real cool. And I was like, if I have a daughter, I'm going to name her Hayden. And then I had a dog and I named him Oliver. So I don't even pay attention to myself. Growing up, I had friends who always wanted to be mothers. It was what their goal was. It's what they thought about all the time. We've talked about it. It wasn't about the man or the partner or the marriage or the proposal. It was about the children. I never had that. I didn't see myself coddling a child or carpooling it just was never part of my story. I never saw that storyline in my future. And I laid at night and I'd think about it. Is there a reason I don't want to have children? You know, I had boyfriends who wanted to have kids and conversations I had with girlfriends who were like, well, why not? And I don't really have one answer. I have like 500 answers for why not. I just knew that my life and my course didn't make sense with children. And I was right. And there's not one moment that I can say was when it happened. It wasn't like something, there was no negative moment in my life where I was like, oh, I'm not good enough. And I think that a lot of parents, pre-birth, when you're going to have a child, start to kind of self-judge and think, are they going to be good enough at it? And that wasn't my deal. It's not that I ever thought, oh, I wasn't prepared to love something that much. I love unconditionally. I wasn't afraid of a lifetime of commitment. I felt like I had that. I have that with my siblings. I have that with my friends. I had that with my parents, although, you know, that parents pass. It wasn't ever a question of if I'd be good at it, because I think I would have been very good at it. Because when I try something, I usually follow through on it. And when I love big. And I think that matters most as a parent. There wasn't this missing desire for me. There was not a missing part. And it wasn't in the story when I looked forward. It was never part of my story. Even when I was, you know, picturing myself flying off in a spaceship, because I thought by the time I got to 54, I thought we'd be flying around in spaceships. I didn't have a kid in mind. So yeah, it was never something that ever appealed to my lifestyle senses. I saw people have babies young. I had girlfriends who had babies young. And in some odd way, when I was a child, and I don't quite know, I didn't do purposely, but I somehow managed to maneuver my way out of those friendships. And I don't quite know why. It wasn't a big like, oh, you're pregnant, I can't talk to you. But I did have friends growing up that got pregnant young. And just somehow that day-to-day, you know, the girlfriend that comes and hangs out and takes the kids to the park with you, and I just wasn't that person. And I don't dislike children, but I don't think that my life would have made sense with them in it. And I found there hasn't been a moment where I look back and think I should have. I was in a relationship for 10 years maybe in my 20s. And I've never had pressure aside from that one relationship to actually make a decision on the long term. You know, when you think you're not going to have children and life just doesn't provide children, you don't stop and have this moment of, I need to do this right now, until, in fact, you're in a relationship with someone who possibly wants children. So that conversation was kind of not as pressure filled as it was me really then going, wow, I am, I think 29 at the time, and I might have this window, and do I want it or do I not want it? And I just was like, no, I can't even see us having the life that I think I want to have with you and it having children attached to it. And so we didn't have children. We didn't get married either, but I've never quite felt the pressure. I know at some point when my friends were getting pregnant, my parents would kind of giggle at the thought that I was old enough. My mom kind of was like, I can't even imagine you. Though I would have been a great parent, and she knows I would have been a great parent, it was more like, are you old enough for this? Mind you, my mother passed away when I was in my 50s, 49 actually. But to imagine that up until that point, it was like, they still saw me like I was a little kid. They would giggle at the thought that my friends were getting married. They thought it was funny. Friends having children was absurd to her. And yeah, I never had any outside pressure except for the one relationship. And again, he didn't even pressure me. It was like, this was kind of the golden hour, the moment. Are you going to make this choice? Because unlike men, we do have a clock. And if you do decide later in the clock, at the end, the final ticks, then you have to go through all the things, and then there's the problems that could come up from being a little bit too old. I don't even know the details because I didn't even look into it for myself. And now it's become a conversation that I either get pity, which is pathetic. I've had people pity me and be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, but are you sorry? Did you see my life? I'm not sorry. It's like, yeah, word. You see my shoes? No kids. You see my life? You see my smile? Well, I can say no stress now, but we all know what I did to my face. But yeah, I'd be like, yeah, no kids. It's a way less stress-filled life. And I know any parent watching this is going to agree with me. There could possibly be at some point, hasn't happened yet, some ping of loneliness when I'm 85, maybe. By that point, I won't even remember if I had children. So I don't think I've ever had the ping, hoping I would have or wishing I would have. And I don't have a void. And I think that people believe you're supposed to have some void. And here's the fact: none, zero. When I look at the outcome, I would have missed so many moments of my life had I decided to have children when I was able to make the choice. I've far surpassed that now. But no, there was never a second. And when I sit in the now of my life with my friends and my ability to take care of my friends the way I do and show up for people and have a schedule that allows me to be the friend that you can call and jump on the plane and get there for you, that is because I didn't have children. And those moments have come up. So I definitely know that it was not the right choice for me, and life has definitely proven that I needed to have the responsibility of me and the people that I love around me, but not so much that of a parent. And it's never been the wrong choice. But there have been moments when the phone rings and I'm the only one who can do it because I have other friends who have bigger commitments. And when I'm my only commitment, that means I can show up for you. And I think that was the right choice for me. Why do we treat motherhood like it's the default setting and not like it's an option? Why is being a mother what we're expected to do? When did this become an absolute and we're less of a woman somehow because we didn't have children? It makes me less of what because I chose not to? It makes me less of nothing. It doesn't make us less of anything. When did it become a guarantee? This is what you have to do. Because I was born with ovaries, I have to then have children. I don't understand it. It's mind-blowing to me that this is still the way people think. I years ago had someone say to me, if you don't have a child, you're not fulfilling what you're supposed to do in the world. Literally said this to my face. I was already 35 at the time. Really? Is that your story? Or why are you putting your story on me? I don't tell people not to have children, though you probably shouldn't if you're kidding, have children. I don't understand when it became a guarantee, a requirement, a feminine requirement. I'm less feminine, I'm less woman, I'm less female, I'm less nurturing. I can be mothering without being a mother. I don't quite understand when we decided that this is a have to. For years and years and years, men didn't have to be fathers. Now, no one gets shocked if a man isn't a father. It's not the same, and I don't understand why we don't have the same standards. And I don't think we should be so surprised by it. I don't really recognize I don't understand when that happened and why it's such a big deal when a woman decides that she wants her own life without children and doesn't feel bad about it. And as if it's some missing piece in me that I maybe somewhere along the lines that we've been broken somehow, where truthfully, had I made decisions based on what the world thought I should have been doing, that would have broken me. Every choice I made on my own, as we all should. And I just don't think that it should be something that's forced on us. I don't even know if I can have babies. Some women can't have babies. Maybe I can. I've never tried. I don't know. But that doesn't mean anything. It means that that's not your course. Like, I don't think that we should be forced to feel like the responsibility of parenthood, of bearing children, should be so heavy on us. And even today, it really is, based on just conversations I have randomly with people who don't know my backstory, trying to explain why. I don't think we should have to have that. I don't think there's any absolutes for them, for us, for anyone. You just choose the path that you choose. And if there was some big sob story behind it, then that's your story. But like, if you don't have one, do I have to have one? Because I don't. The cultural guilt that women are expected to carry for not choosing motherhood is not okay. I completely own my choice and I do not need to justify it. And if you're someone who's debating on whether you should have children or not, sit in it, make the debate. If it's in your brain, have the argument with yourself. If there's no question, trust yourself. You don't have to make anybody else happy but yourself. You owe yourself the truth for what you feel, because it does matter later on. When you make the choice, you made the choice. So give it the second. I had no debate moment. There was zero debate moment. It was no, never wanted it. Not even a question. So if there's a debate, hear yourself out. But if there's not, stick to your decision. If you definitely want it, do it. And if you definitely don't, be honest with yourself and don't let anybody else tell you what you need to do. Trust me, you'll be happier in the long run. And while we're on the topic of choices, let's talk about the best role I ever signed up for. The one with no mandatory diaper changes and no parent-teacher conferences. Just vibes and Venmos for gifts. Being an aunt. Being an aunt is like motherhood if motherhood came with bottle service and a return policy. There are a lot of perks to being the fun aunt. I get all the good stuff. I get the phone calls when there's gossip going on in the house. I know about every parent fight. I know when the parents are arguing. I know when the siblings are arguing. I get all the good gossip. I get all the accolades. I'm the cool one. They want to hang out with me. I give the best gifts. It's an incredible role because we get to just love them up and send them home. Give them kisses, give them sugar, send them home. We get all the good stuff without the negative. And of course, when they're hurting, we have kids we love. You hurt with them and you care, and there's an attachment, which is incredible too. So you get the love of parenting without the responsibility and without the everyday. I get to say bye, see you later. You can come sleep over now, but I don't have to have you in the house. You have to ask. I love that. I love that you just don't get the rights to the keys. Kids, have to have the keys. People assume that not having children means that I'm anti-kids or that I'm not open to children. But it's quite the opposite. I'm far more open and available to children now because I made the choice. I get to make the choice to be the adult, to show up in an aunt role and be there for them when they need me. And it's a decision I get to say, do you want to come over? It's my choice. Do you want to spend the night at my house? Come on over. It's an incredible gift to be able to share your time with these children and young adults and be able to give advice, give them courage, love them up, and then go home and never have to punish them. I've never had to punish anybody. You know how good that is? I don't even punish my own dog. I can't imagine sending my kid to the room and locking the door. Although if I had kids, they'd be locked in a room. Yeah, I can't imagine having to take the responsibility of the day-to-days, but to have the joy of being an aunt and get to see them grow up and see little pieces of you in them. You know, I have one niece that constantly does things, and my sister's always like, oh, she's so you. And then I'll see her do it, and I'm like, that's crazy that you have this trait of mine, but you're not mine, but you kind of are in a weird genetic way, I guess. I could give you a kidney. It's bizarre. Being an aunt is amazing. Having people turn to you when they're afraid to turn to their parents is a whole other kind of love. And it's a big responsibility, and I don't take it lightly. And I've made decisions as an aunt that I'm proud of, and some that I look back and go, maybe I could have handled that better. But it's a beautiful, beautiful relationship, and I think we're very blessed. Those of us who don't have children, if we have the siblings that have kids or friends that have children, because even your friends' kids can look at you that way. And I'm that way with my friends' kids. I'm the cool friend. I'm the one who doesn't have children, and I'm available all the time. And we can go to dinner, and we can have a wine, and I can send you home. It's the best. They have to be over 21 to have the wine. There are magical moments when you're not a parent and you're an aunt, and you can give advice and you can love up on these children and you can send them home. And as they grow up and you grow up with them and you go through life and you are still who they turn to, they don't hide stuff from you. They don't keep secrets that they do from their parents, but you have a way of guiding these children in a way that is really productive and fun. But there's a lightness to it. There's an easiness about being the cool aunt. But there is pressure when you are the one without children to be the fun one. Like I'm not allowed to have a bad day. It's like Aunt Kelley's got to be always fun. Not every family has someone who doesn't have kids, but when you do have a family, if you do, that there is one sibling that doesn't have children, you really do become the fun one. You're the one everyone turns to, even the parents, for a time out. I'm everyone's time out. The phone rings and the nieces, the nephews, the aunts, the brothers, the sisters, everyone's calling me for that little break because they know I actually have a quiet, simple life. So if you're having a problem, call Aunt Kelley. Yeah, not a problem. Sisters, brothers, like, oh, this one. How do you know I'm free? Right, because I don't have children. Phone's always ringing, aunt's always available. Friends will tell their kids, call Kelley. It's like, wait a minute, what happened? All of a sudden I had no children, now I got 10 children calling me. No, I love it. I love every part of it. I love being an aunt, but it is fun when you realize that you're not only the aunt, but you're also the outlet for the parents everywhere. Like my sisters, my brothers, the wives, the husbands, they all call you. It's very funny. It's like, oh, she's free. Yeah, she's free because she chose not to have children. Deal with your own. It happens though. That's a fact. So while some of you are out there navigating curfews and mood swings, I'm here building a life that feels a lot like recess. The kind of life where joy is not scheduled around someone else's nap time. You know what no one talks about? The perks. The blissful, spontaneous, sleep in till 10 a.m. perks. Clearly, if I had children, so much of my life would be different. I recognize this on a daily basis. I wake up 2 o'clock in the morning, come back out into my living room, put the TV on because I feel like it. I don't have to care if I wake someone up. There's no one in the other room. I can put the music on at 11 o'clock at night and dance around my apartment by myself. I can take a vacation alone. I can do anything. I have no one to answer to. That is, it's also mind-blowing when you have no one to answer to because you do a lot of things alone because so many of my friends have children. But it is clearly the thing that made my life exactly what I thought it was going to be. I know that I can at any point, any moment, make a decision to do something and not have to work around anybody else's schedule. And that is such a freedom that I wanted, that now when I have friends and family that have to stop and say, I can't do that because of A, B, and C. I'm like, oh, validation. That's why I didn't do it. I love that you have that. And I'll show up at Timmy's softball game, maybe. I'll definitely get him a great Christmas gift though. But I get to do what I want to do on my own time, at my own pace, on my own schedule. And I want you to hear me again about the 2 o'clock in the morning. Imagine the fact that I can literally not be able to sleep, come into my living room, put all the lights on, put the TV on, and eat ice cream at 2 o'clock. Not have to worry. I know parents who have to lay in bed quietly so that their baby doesn't wake up. It's like, I don't have to do that. The only thing I have to worry about is a dog. And other than that, nothing. Yeah, parenting, big decision, big decision, and definitely the right one not to do it. Every time I sleep late, every hangover. Oh my God, having a kid with a hangover, that has got to be the worst. I don't think I'd ever stop drinking. I would just be drunk all the time. I would just be like, what do you need, Timmy? Yeah, I would be. Why is the kid's name Timmy? I don't even know a kid named Timmy. My kid in my head's name is Timmy. Or the kid that I can't stand, his name is Timmy. That's why I keep referring to it Timmy. Yeah, I don't think I have ever had a moment where I thought I made the wrong call. When I want to do what I want to do, and there's no one else I need to consider. And I think maybe it's a selfish decision. What's wrong with being selfish? Why do we judge being selfish? It's okay. And why, if a parent decides to take 5 minutes to themselves, are they selfish? Travel with their friends or leave the kids at home or get a nanny. Do all the things that parents have to choose to do. You know, this is like, figure out how to keep your sanity. I would lose my sanity. I don't even know if I have my sanity now. I didn't have children. I don't know where it would have been had I had it, unless I'm losing it at 54 and not 35. Yeah, sanity is a fleeting thing. It leaves at some point, whether you have kids or not. So because I don't have children, everyone decides my problems are easier. Life is so much easier. And look, there are moments. I'm speaking, this whole podcast is about how much easier it is. But it's easier for me. That doesn't mean I don't have problems. Somehow, when you don't have children, all of your problems seem very minuscule to someone's problems who have children. I was telling one of my family members a problem. I can't remember what it was, but it was something that I thought was a big deal at the time. And it was sort of poo-pooed. And then I said, you know, when I'm having a really bad day and I'm alone and sad, there is no little sugary kiss coming to kiss me. I don't have any sticky baby kisses that are going to change my mood. So sometimes, just remember, when I'm dealing with a problem, there's no break in my problem. You at some point have to shut yourself off and become a mom and run to school and da-da. I don't get to do that. Sometimes there's joy in that. Sometimes there's a lot of freedom. Sometimes there's a little bit of loneliness. So shut up and let me have my problem and don't minimize it because I don't have a kid. Because a lot of times kids get you out of your head and into something else, right? You have to kind of jump around your moods around these children and what they're doing. Where if I'm in a bad mood or I have a problem, I don't have anyone else's problems to worry about. So I have to like sit in mine. So I don't get the sticky kisses. When I'm crying, I get Oliver licking my face. And it's different. It's great. I love my dog. But like sometimes it's not as easy as it seems. I'm all by myself dealing with this stuff. I made the choice. Not regretting it, but sometimes don't minimize my problems just because I don't have children. Mine are just as big as yours. They're just different. It's not selfish to enjoy your peace, it's self-aware. And I'm sure some moms do not regret their choice. But I sometimes see that little twinkle in their eyes when I say I took a 2-hour nap just because I could. I see it. You know what I'm talking about. And listen, being kid-free is not about being anti-mom. It's just about being pro-choice in the literal lifestyle sense. It's just saying that this version of womanhood fits me better. And that brings us to something we need to talk about. Redefining what womanhood even means when it's not tied to being a mother. For so long, womanhood was sold as a checklist. Get married, have kids, lose yourself. I just skipped right to the find yourself part. Do you think that women in your generation feel freer to make the decision not to have children? Or do you still think you have the same pressures that people my age had? Because it was a huge pressure at my age. I'm hearing way more younger people now say that it's not something that they plan on doing. Their reasons, though, and tell me if I'm wrong, are a lot of planetary reasons, like, we're not going to have an ozone. That's not why I didn't have kids. I didn't have kids because kids are a lot. But right now, I hear people making choices about, like, if the planet's going to be and what kind of air we're going to have and, you know, overpopulation. I mean, they're probably making smarter decisions based on facts. I was like, I don't know. I want some shoes. I don't want a kid. Probably the wrong way to go. But wrong way to get me there. Right way to go. Wrong way to get there. It's like I took a long way to get here, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, right now it might be a little more socially acceptable for women to make the decision. What do you guys think? Is this true? Am I just hearing it more now than I did when I was a kid? Maybe because I was the one of my group that didn't have children. Maybe there's one in every group all the time and I just didn't know it. So we've grown in numbers, I think. I think that I've heard more conversations by the 20-somethings and the teens now saying that children is not something that they're planning on. And I wonder if there's the same pressure that I had. For decades, I thought that my worth was tied to other people's expectations. But now my worth is just tied to me living my way. Society said that womanhood means kids and chaos. I think it means freedom and creativity and the ability to say yes to everything that makes me happy. That's why I made the right choice. I don't think that there's ever been a moment of doubt. And I think that if you're considering or one of the friends who don't want to have children, stand by yourself, stand by your decisions. Don't worry about what it looks like to the rest of the world, because one of the things that's truly important is there's no going back on it. I think we need to redefine what we consider feminine and what womanhood should look like. I don't think you need to be a parent. I don't think you need to be nurturing. I don't think you need to get all in your vibes when a kid cries in the room. I'm sitting at a table full of people and a kid cries in a restaurant and they go, and I go, oh. I see people go, oh, what's going on? I'm like, I don't care. Shut it up. I don't care. I'm not made of the same thing. But guess what? I'm just as feminine. I just find screeching children hurting my ears. I don't care why they're crying. It's the parents. I don't care why they're crying. That's mean. I care why they're crying, but they're also in a restaurant. Do I really care right now, or do I want my martini? Right now I want to drink the martini. I don't want to hear the screeching in the background. I think that we have to stop defining women by how we treat children, or, I don't know, husbands. It's another thing. Everyone's supposed to get married and have children. Are we? Are we? Does that make me any less of a woman? It doesn't. It doesn't. And it's annoying to think it does. And you know who shames you? Men shame you. Got a lot of men shaming. Oh, no kids? Yeah, no kids. It doesn't mean I don't have a vagina. It doesn't mean it wasn't my choice. It doesn't mean I've never had sex. I've done all the things. Everything there works. I didn't want to have a kid. It's a choice I made. What are you looking at me down your nose like there's a problem? There's no problem. I'm no less feminine as the rest of us. I have nails. I get my nails. I do mani-pedis. I wax my mustache just like every other woman. I'm not as, I'm not as motherly, that's it. And I don't want to be motherly. While we're redefining womanhood, let's talk about all the different stages of life as we grow up. When you and your friends are in different stages of life, when you have friends who are still having children, when you're old enough to be their grandparent. I'm there. It's a crazy place. You have to accept each other for where you're at in life. Friendships can absolutely work around being in different spaces and having different priorities. I have friends who have adult children. I'm sure you guys do too. I have adult friends. I have friends who have young children. Our lives have to work differently now. I can do the Zoom call at 8 a.m. because the child's asleep, and I know I can't call you at 6 because it's dinner time or you're nursing. Then I have the friends who want to sneak in the other room and talk about the fact that their kid is, drank last night. Or I have kids whose friends are old enough to drive and like have boyfriends and get, do all the things that happens when you're those ages. But I'm here to listen. I can still take those calls and I can still understand. And I think that I come from a much cleaner perspective because it's not my thing. Two friends talking to each other about parenting, guess what? There's a competition about being a parent and who did it better and what you should have done. I can give all the advice in the world. And if you don't take it, you go, it's because she never had a kid. It's not because you're going to get mad at me because I think I did it better. I kind of get a get out of jail free card when I can give all the advice, all I want to my friends who have kids, and they don't ever get mad at me for my advice because they don't think I did it better. Whew, how about that? I just discovered that today at Clock. I can literally say, you know what I would do? And they can hang up the phone and go, she would never do that because she don't have any kids. Scot-free, can't be mad at me. But if I said it and I had kids, it'd be that I told you how to parent. So I kind of have the best of both worlds. We get to be able to have advice for our friends that have children and also hide behind the fact that we don't have children if we say something stupid. Well, oh my God, I never thought about that. I don't have kids. Perfect. So friendships work both ways. I absolutely recognize, and we should recognize how hard it is to be a parent, but it's reciprocal. It's got to go both ways. Just because I'm not a parent, you got to check on me too. I have bad days. I need a friendship to balance out too. You know that I'm available when I am all the time. I'm available all the time, so call and check on me. No, but I think it's got to be reciprocal. I've been blessed. I have that balance with my friends. I think it's really important that everyone has that balance. That if you have friends who have children and you check on them, you check on their kids, man, we got a whole checklist as the non-parent friend. You got to ask about them. You got to ask about the children. You got to ask about their spouses. You got to ask about how the game went. You got to ask about how's the cold coming along? Does she still have diarrhea? Is he still bleeding? Does this one break up? I've got the checklist. I got the friends. I'm like going through the babies. Guess what? Call and say, how are you? See how that works? But, I count too. And I think it's super important that friendships, when you're in different stages of life, that you find the balance. And I think it's a tap dance. And sometimes we get it wrong. I think I have called my friends with babies at 11 o'clock at night. And they're like, are you out of your mind? The baby's sleeping. I'm like, oh, that baby's getting in the way again. And vice versa. They've called me at 4 a.m. Hi, I'm up. Baby's up. What are you doing? I'm like, I'm just getting home from the ball. What you doing? Kidding. Don't do that. But, you have to recognize each other's schedules and work around each other's lives. But you have to pay attention to your friends without children as much as we pay attention to the friends with children. And it shouldn't be any less important how I'm doing because I don't have 75 other people underneath me that I need to take care of. I have one, and I'm a lot of work. I need some love too. Do you know that I cried yesterday? Right. Guess who held me? Me. It's terrible. Changed my own diaper too. No one checked in. I had a friend just the other day send a picture of her baby walking. And I was like, I walked today too. No one cares. No one cares when I walk. No one cares. I painted my face too. I could send you a picture. Would it matter? No. But when she does it, it's adorable. When I do it, it's like, let's see if Kelley has Alzheimer's. Anyway, you get the point. Check in on your friends that don't have children as much as we check in on the friends and the children of the friends who have children. Because then the children have children. I'm going to be like great aunt, grandmother, friend, other aunt / friend. They're going to have grandchildren. I don't know what that's going to make me, but it's going to make me a whole lot of stuff that I don't want to be and more responsibilities. Remember I signed on for 0 responsibilities? You know what? I'm going to hang out with only non-breeders because now I'm getting myself all amped up about what's going to happen to the kids' kids and their kids. And am I going to be a great, 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 great grandfriend? This is a lot. It's a lot of pressure. And I just spit as I said it. My dentures are loose. So I love my friends' children. I love all of my friends' children. But there is a part of me that's like, oh my God, remember when you were more fun when you didn't have them? Remember when we had a lot of good times without the kids involved? Remember when we talked about stuff that didn't involve A, B, C, and D and what they did today? Remember those fun times? I have missed the moments with my friends where I am doing these non-parenting things, the non-breeder, and I can do all these things. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? Oh, da, 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 da. And I'm like, can I just have you back for a second? Can you just put the baby down for like the next, 6 or 7 years and just come be a friend to me again? I was talking to my friends actually today, and one of my friends said something about her baby. And I was like, do you remember the time that you got kidnapped and had kids and I was still waiting for you in the Pilates class and you never came back? Do you remember? Because I'm still waiting in Pilates. And what is it? What is this thing with these children? And you have to have more than one. Did you know that, by the way? Do they even come in one anymore? Everybody has more than one now. And is that okay? Did anyone ask me if they should have a second child? No. No one referred to me. No one asked me my opinion about the second kid, third or fourth kid. No one cared. I asked you what you think about this outfit. Do I not? Do I not respect your opinion in my wardrobe? I do. Did you ask me if you should be doing it a second time without a condom? No, you didn't. Guess what happened? More babies. And that's what, now, my life, now I have to worry about the new babies and what they're going to need from me. And am I going to be cool enough? I'm going to be like 60. I'm going to be cool at like 75 years old. I'm going to be telling someone what they should be wearing to the high school prom. This is a lot of responsibility. My friends did not run by me before they decided to have all these kids. That's all I'm saying. What is amazing is when you go through the baby stages and then those babies become teenagers and your friends come back to you. It's so nice when your friends come back. And they come back, by the way, because kids grow up. And guess what they do? They go and do their own things. And guess what I'm doing? I'm still waiting here for the friend to come back. Yeah, I got stories. Come on over, we'll have wine. And you show up and then you come. And it's so freeing. It's so nice. They started driving. Guess what we're doing this weekend? Hanging out because the kid's not home. You don't have to drive him anywhere. Can't wait for Timmy to get his license. You know what that means? We're having wine. Bye, Timmy. See you later. Mommy ain't driving to soccer today. I can't even think about the kids driving cars. I'm giving myself stress because they're not my kids, but I love them. Wait for your friends who are having children. Sit patiently. Don't wait in Pilates. You'll get kicked out of class. Wait for your friends who had babies. Let them age out. Because moms age out of motherhood too. I mean, they're always mothers and they always have to have responsibility. And now the kids are calling and it's a whole other annoyance. But they come back. They come back to the single friend. They want to hang out. I'm the fun aunt and I'm the fun friend. All the mothers and the fathers run to my apartment for freedom. Come join me. I've been waiting for you. I have wine and things. I have wine and caviar because you know what I don't have? School. I don't have to pay for soccer balls or any equipment. I have money I spend on food and me. You know what you did this week? You bought a new bike, a retainer, and probably paid off the kid next door not to beat him up or something. I don't know. I don't know what parents do with their money, but they don't do what I do with my money. Spend it on themselves. I know that. Y'all tell me about it. That's the beauty of it. We're all figuring it out in real time. Some people are raising kids and some people are raising hell, but both deserve respect, which brings me back to everyone out there who's walking the non-traditional path. Listen to me. You do not owe anyone an explanation for choosing your own version of happiness. So if you're out there and you're wondering if you have to do what's traditional, you don't. You don't. Look around you. Nothing's what it's supposed to be anymore. Choose what's right for you. Don't let anyone sway you into a life that you didn't choose for yourself. If you decide you want to be a mom, you want to be a dad, go for it. If you decide you don't want to be a breeder, stand behind your choices. Whatever non-traditional life you think you want, go for it. We don't get a second chance at this. Make sure the decisions you make on your own. Don't let outside people force you to do anything you don't want to do. We don't get to do this again. And I'm telling you, you'll be so much happier if you give yourself the right to walk on the untraditional path. It's so much fun up here. There's not a lot of us, but it's fun. Come here. I'm here. Come join me. Walk this way. Come towards the light. Yeah, don't let anyone tell you that you need to be, do, or say anything that you don't want to be, do, or say. Life is too short. If you want to be a mom, be a mom. If you don't, you don't. And stand in it. Don't ever regret your choices. And there might be moments of questioning. You have a big chunk of time. We get to be nowadays you get to push it into your, I think almost to the 40s. I don't know, I'm not a doctor, but I think it's like you can push it. Give yourself a minute. Don't think you got to be in anybody else's timeline. You can make the decision when you have more information. Wait till your friends have kids. Don't be the first friend to have children, because then you could see. That's what I did. At first, I was like, I'm going to just watch and see how this goes. I'm right. That's a lot of work. Give yourself the time to make the choice. You'll know. Just trust yourself. Give yourself the ability to not do everything traditional because everyone else says you're supposed to. You can absolutely live a very fulfilled life without being a parent. I'm living proof. I'm very happy 90% of the time. You don't have to have children to have meaning as a woman. Again, love. You can love your friend's children. You can love a pet. You can love your friend. You can love your partner and not have a child. But I don't have a missing spot. You don't have a missing space. That's when you know you made the right choice. There is nothing absent from my life because I made the decision not to have children. In fact, it's quite the opposite. I have much more time for my friends who do have children, for their children. I've already said this. I have a lot more freedom. I'm available to love many more people. I can love everybody and be available for everybody because I have the freedom to do that. And that's an incredible thing. You can completely have a full, loving, you can be a whole person and a whole life without having to have children and to be a mom. Life is no less beautiful. I have great days, I have bad days, and I hurt when my nieces and nephews have bad days, and I get really excited when the people I love and the children that they have are doing wonderful things, and I'm worried when they're not. I'm just as afraid about, the world out there and the driving and just life in general. I care about all of these children, and so nothing's missing. I have all the love and all the space, and so can you. It's a full life. Motherhood does not fulfill a whole life plan. It doesn't. I have friends, and I meet people all the time who have children who are like, and you're doing what? And I can see this like, oh, I wish I could. And of course, as I just was talking about, you can. There comes a time in parenthood where the children grow up. It's the amazing thing that happens. And then you get your freedom in a way. I mean, having a child is like having your heart outside your body, they say. So when you're a parent, you're always a parent, doesn't matter how old the children are. But you have a lot more freedom again. And I think that's important, that you ride the wave and you realize that your friends will come back, but your life is no less full because you didn't have children. You can be child-free and single and still be the happiest person in the group chat. You don't need what everyone thinks you need for a full, wonderful, whole, exciting, fulfilling life. That's dependent on what you want, not what other people tell you you need. Your life does not need to make sense to anyone else, just to you. So not having children was never a loss for me. It was always a gain. A gain of peace, time, clarity, and really good sleep. And that's what it comes down to. Settling down looks different on everyone. So give yourself permission to live out loud without apologizing for it. This is what settling down looks like for me. So whether you're an aunt, a mom, or you're just out here mothering your own inner child, the only rule is that your life should feel like it fits. That's all I have for you. Thank you very much for tuning in. Please make the choices that you want to make. Make one of those choices about coming back here next week. Stay tuned. Keep coming back. Stay true to yourself. Don't let anybody tell you what you have to do. You know what you need to do. Just trust yourself. I swear it all works out. Thank you very much. I'll see you guys next week. Bye. Hey guys, thank you so much for showing up for another episode of Still Can't Cook. Subscribe to us wherever you listen to your podcasts, on YouTube or any other podcast provider. And if you're on Instagram or TikTok, please follow us at Still Can't Cook. Love to have you guys back every week. So happy that you joined us and look forward to seeing you next week.